We're live. Jimidandthewolf podcast.
What's up, my man?
Well, it's living the dream.
Me too.
You know, I just want to give a shout out. I mean, I don't really have a topic for today, but well, I know what I'm going to just random, and this will only be for those who can see it. But look, I'm going to show you something.
Yay!
Baby. This is the new assembled guitar. This is the body you gave me. You had laying around, and this is a parts caster, I guess you'd say. And the neck was messed up, so I ordered a roasted neck from. It's an actual Fender neck. It says Fender right on it, and it's got jumbo. Everything's backwards, so I got to go right to make it go left. And it plays amazingly. It was set up by Gauser guitar repair in Nashville. They did a phenomenal job. Glazer. I misspoke.
Jay Glazer.
And so life is good.
I'm happy to see that thing.
Doesn't it look good?
Looks great, man. How's it play?
Well, I haven't plugged it in yet, but I played it while I was there, and it plays well. It's well set up. I mean, they do great work there, and excited about it. And
I told you about my Telecaster build, didn't I?
Yeah. How much did you have into it?
Like $2,200.
Oh my gosh.
10 years ago, when you could still buy a really good custom shop Telecaster for $2,200, I bought an all parts body and an all parts neck, Seymour Duncan pickups, snakeskin pick guard, Spertzl tuners. It sounded great, and it just played like garbage. It was trash, dude. And I'm so stubborn that I kept taking it to gigs night in and night out, and I'd wrestle with it, and it sounded great. And in my friend Terry wedding, the first time he ever picked it up, he played it for like 3 seconds, and he said, this thing's junk, dude. Plays like shit. And I was like, you know what? You're right. It does. And so I sold it for like next to nothing, I think.
Well, I mean, I'm actually met the guy. He was coming out. I was there around lunchtime. The guy that works at Glazer, the guy that worked on it, his guy name is Zach, if I remember right. He, plays beautifully. Looks beautiful. I mean,
I love the color.
Yeah, I can't wait to plug it in and start playing it. Yeah, and then also on the gear front, I got my 58 Bassman back from Nashville Amplifier.
Powerhouse. It's like
and the guy says, as far as vintage Bassmans, it's a phenomenal example. And even I went there today because I have a solid state amp that I use for one of my speakers. I have vintage Yamaha speakers, and the advice was you use a vintage Yamaha solid state amp to power them, because they do have a reputation. NS10Ms are what a lot of guys have been using in studios for many years. Maybe not newer guys so much, but it's been around since the 80s maybe. But they sound like trash, really. And that's one of the things. If you can make your mix sound good on an NS10M, then you've got something. Oh, yeah. And the Bob Clearmountain is the producer who kind of championed that, and he recommended that you get a Yamaha vintage power amp. And it's a heavy thing, because back in the day when they had this big heat sinks and a lot of power and everything, it wasn't very modular like it is now. And I took it over there, asked him first if they work on solid state, and he said, yeah. So I took it over there, and he asked me, hey, how are those amps doing? Those amps made an impression there. They love those amps. And then I handed it to him, and he says it's heavy. And I said, it was back in the day, and he said that makes it sound good. And then we both laughed. I mean, so.
I know what that feels like, man. When I still had the music store, 95% of what you work on is like low end stuff, and if somebody brings in something nice, it makes your job that much funner and cooler.
Maybe that was what it was. I don't know. I mean, that they seem to be. I mean, every time I communicate with them, they ask me about it, and even the Twin. I got probably a 60, late 60s, early 70s, but it's no master volume Fender Twin. It's Silverface, and he even said, "Bon, that's a great one." Also today, the guy said so because he remembered both of them. I mean, he remembered me, and it was like nice. So,
very cool.
Yeah. You know,
I had a Mike Naismith model Gretsch guitar, and when I bought it, it needed a lot of work, and I took it to Far Out Music, and the guy there that was the guitar repair guy, I can't remember his first name. I think his first name may have been Mike too, but I pulled it out of the case. It's kind of an obscure guitar, you know, Mike Naismith from the Monkees. It's a pretty obscure instrument. It was a 67 Mike Naismith signature Gretsch model.
I didn't even know he had a signature model. Wow.
He did. They were kind of few and far between. I actually gave the guitar away. I'll come back to that. But I pull it out of the case, and the guy working there was like, "Dude, where'd you get that?" And I said, "Well, I just bought it with a couple other guitars." And he's like, a card-carrying member of the Monkees fan club. He pulls out his wallet and pulls out the card. He's a card-carrying member to the Monkees fan club, and he's like, "The Monkees are my favorite band ever." And this guitar needed a lot of work. And I'm like, being a guitar head, I knew what it meant to him. And I was just like, "Dude, take your time with it. Play it as long as you want." You know what I mean? And he had it for like 6 months, I think. And he loved that guitar. And even when I finally went down to Clarksville to pick it up, he wanted to play it like one last time when I showed up, you know, and he got out and like played for like a half an hour or so. But it was really funny because, you know, we're all just big nerds when it comes to that stuff. And
wait a minute, he was in Clarksville. Isn't one of the Monkees hits "The Last Train to Clarksville"?
Clarksville, yeah, exactly.
And he lived in a town named Clarksville.
Clarksville, Indiana, yeah.
Is that what that song was about? I wonder. Clarksville, Indiana.
Maybe Tennessee or something.
How many Clarksvilles are there? It's like there's a water town in every state. Every state has a water town.
I doubt it was the Indiana one.
You know, there's a lot of. I mean, what town names is there in every state? Certainly, Watertown is one that comes to mind.
There's always a Franklin.
Franklin, yeah, Franklin.
There's Franklin everywhere, dude. There's a Franklin, Missouri, Franklin, Illinois, Franklin, Michigan, Franklin, Indiana, Franklin, Tennessee. You run into some weird names going through Kentucky. Kentucky's got some ringers, like Baghdad and stuff like that. Baghdad, Kentucky.
Baghdad, Kentucky.
Think about it, man. If you were anywhere in the world other than Kentucky and somebody's like, "Where are you from?" and you said Baghdad, Kentucky, they'd think you were making it up. You're like, "That's not even a real place." "No, I'm from Baghdad, Kentucky." It doesn't even sound right.
Well, it probably was back in the day before, you know, there was so much violence there. I mean, Baghdad, the first thing that I think of is videos of people being blown up and streets being blown up and, you know, war and everything. I mean, maybe there was a time that it sounded like an exotic place. I mean, most of these towns were named probably in the late 1800s, early 1900s, perhaps.
Yeah.
You know, there's like in South Dakota, not far from where I grew up, there's Naples, a little town that was named Naples, and Vienna, right close by, you know, some big European towns, right, or big European names. Paris, there's Paris, some London, you know, big European names that they took and named or sometimes it's Indian names, you know, word of the name or a person's name. I would say probably those would be the three main identifiers for names of towns, either an Indian name or a big city that in another part of the world or a person. Doesn't that make sense? Madison, what's your town? Where's Madison come from, I wonder?
No idea, man, where that one came from. People always think it's Wisconsin, though.
Yeah, Madison, Wisconsin is a big one.
We got some ringers nearby, though. There's Aurora. There's a little town about 45 minutes away called Big Bone Lick. There's some ringers. Valparaiso's not too far away.
I mean, French Lick, you got French Lick. What is it with lick in Indiana towns? What the heck?
They were just confused, man. I think it was the French. Like the Indians were trying to explain something to the French and they got confused. Then they're like, yeah, that sounds right. Big Bone Lick. That's not what we meant at all. Well, we already named it,
We already filed the charter.
Yeah, no going back now.
Yeah, and French Lick, you got French Lick, Indiana.
Yeah. We should.
That sounds like a kiss or something.
It probably was.
Kiss between a man and a woman.
Well, I'm glad you got that guitar back, man. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Just kind of wonky before.
It sure was. It's got the biggest jumbo frets that they had available. So, that's going to be not quite Stevie Ray size, but getting close. So I don't know. Who knows? It might become my number one guitar. You never. It looks like a Fender. Everybody going to think it's a Fender because it says Fender right on the neck.
Oh, it's unique.
So.
And it's my favorite color. It's like sky blue.
Yeah.
That's my favorite color in the world, dude.
Well, you gifted me that body, so I appreciate that. Where did you have that body? Where'd you?
I don't even remember, dude. There's so many guitars come and go, and the one thing I've always had an abundance of is guitars and guitar parts because I'm just stayed up with it. You know what I mean? I'm one of those dudes that would be homeless and be like, people be like, that guy sleeps on the sidewalk and he has 15 guitar cases. I'm that guy. You know what I mean? Go, I still have a 61 Stratocaster and a 59 Gibson S330. I'm going to get a place soon.
Yeah, Jimmy. There's going to be Jimmy, homeless with his shopping cart with the one wheel off of it. He has to push it around, and in the shopping cart is the 59 ES330 and the 61 Strat.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Priorities, man. You gotta have them. Well, it actually makes a lot of sense because as long as I have them, I'll probably have a place to stay. Play your way into room and board.
Yeah, because you can work,
exactly,
and earn money, So.
Yep.
Well, this might be a short one today.
Yeah, we had discussed that. We've both got 10 gazillion things going on right now, so. But we showed up.
We showed up. Any other? I just want to make one unrelated thing, but my good friends Jason and Ashley invited me to their home Sunday night, and Ashley has a culinary degree, or went to culinary school. I don't know if she graduated. She said she quit when she realized that an actual job of using that skill was low pay and long hours.
Yeah.
So it's like my friend who went to nursing school and after a week quit because she was told that there'd be blood. She can't stand the sight of blood. I mean, what did you think? What did you think? Anyway, Ashley loved cooking, and she does it as a hobby. Anyway, and she cooked a meal. It was simple on the face of it, but it was so delicious. They had these 2-inch thick steaks that she had, probably the best steak I've ever had. And it was cooked all the way through, and she had marinated it in something. some magic marination, and it was just phenomenal. I'm going to see if I can twist her arm to teach me how she did that, because that was and Jason cooked them. So what's that?
Bring me next time.
Absolutely, man. Well, I know you'd be welcome. We talked about you. You know, they met you. You've met Ashley. I don't know if you met Jason.
Sure.
You know, and they're my friends. And yeah, we've talked about you. We talked about going to see a Widespread Panic. They're huge Widespread Panic fans, and you know, into that world. And I told you a little bit about that. I'm just amazed at any musician would die to have that kind of, would give anything to have that kind of a rabid fan base. I mean, they described to me how they became fans, and their entire, sitting in their living room surrounded by Widespread Panic artwork, limited edition artwork, hanging, beautifully framed, beautiful artwork, collectible, and all in on the Widespread Panic thing. There was a Grateful Dead poster. There was a few other non-Widespread Panic ones, but you know, jam band things. Yeah. Beautiful posters. Some just gorgeous. It's
play, man.
What's that?
Jimmy Herring can flat out.
Yeah, I love his playing. Absolutely love it.
That dude's brilliant.
You know, so and then we watched a band called Goose, that they had a brand new one, young guys that are coming in the jam band, and they had been to a concert last weekend to see Goose, and the keyboard / guitar player looks like Luigi, the character Luigi.
Wow.
Spitting image of Luigi. He's got the mustache and the glasses. He can play. I mean,
when people remember him.
Yeah. And the thing, but he's always smiling when he just looks like he's having so much fun. So anyway, it's a random turn on the subject matter, but
all good.
Give a shout out to them. Thank them for the wonderful meal, and just, you know, simple pleasures, man. Simple pleasures, right?
The little things are the big things, man. Absolutely. And the older I get, the more that every day, dude, the more that dawns on me of like, it's the little things.
Yeah. I think that's a good note to leave it on.
Yeah, man. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. And if you see this on the replay, this is a short one this time, but we'll probably be back on our regular longer. If we have Fedge on, it'll go past an hour.
God love him.
We'll have Fedge on again soon, I'm sure.
We should.
Yeah. But all right. So
peace.
See you next time.